Today's video, how to listen to classical music. Unfortunately, when most people think of classical music, they only know Beethoven, Mozart, big powdered wigs, and long, boring music without any words. My mission in this video is to welcome you into a whole new world of music. There is nothing boring about this enormous, creative, and incredibly diverse art form. But more than just to introduce you to some of classical music's most exciting, heart-wrenching, and mystifying music, I'm going to guide you in how to listen, to go beyond simply hearing and show you how to get lost in this universe of sound, story, and color. So let's dive in. Our first piece to explore is Aaron Copland's Hoedown from his Rodeo Suite for Orchestra. I'm going to play about a 30-second clip, and I'm going to ask you to listen to the full excerpt on your own. First, I want you to listen and see how the violins become fiddles. What I mean by that is as you're listening, you'll notice the violins are really fast, energetic, and even noisy. So for the players to get this fiddle sound, they actually have to use very rapid bow strokes with the full length of their bow. It's not that traditional in classical playing, so you'll notice it's very akin to the folk music genre. Second, listen for the hoedown. So not only will you hear a piano playing the traditional boom chunk kind of accompaniment that you'll hear in this kind of like rustic barn dance setting, but you'll also hear that Copland uses surprise endings, a honky trombone, and then sudden mood changes to create some good-natured barn dance humor in this just 3-minute clip of music. Finally, though you can tap your foot throughout this, you'll notice that Copland introduces a lot of syncopation into this piece. Pay special attention to the repeated notes at the very end. Though every instrument is staying on the exact same pitch, the music drives forward because of this exciting rhythm. Alright, so moving on to our second piece, Mars, the Bringer of War by Gustav Holst. Here's an excerpt. Welcome to one of the most stolen from pieces of classical music. You'll hear Star Wars all over this because John Williams nearly copy and pasted directly from this piece to write the score for Star Wars. Now I want you to listen for these elements. Notice the clicking sounds in the very beginning. Parts of the string section are actually using the wood of the bow, the back of it, to beat out the rhythm on their strings. This effect is called colleno, which literally translates to with the bow. Next, I want you to notice the meter. Now, meter refers to the pulse in music, how many beats in a measure, that kind of thing. So do you notice something unusual about Mars? Instead of the traditional 4 beats in a measure, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or even 3 beats in a measure like a waltz, which is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Mars is in 5/4 time, so there's 5 beats in every measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In 5/4 time, measures are usually felt in 2 irregular beats, either as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, where you either have an elongated beat at the beginning of the bar or an elongated beat at the end of the bar. So though this whole piece sounds like a march, because of the extra beat, it's actually very tricky to march to. So that's a challenge as well. Try marching to this. Next, I want you to notice the brass. Gustav Holst scored this for a massive orchestra. While a traditional orchestra might have 4 horns, 2 trumpets, 1 trombone, and a tuba, Holst wrote this for 6 horns, 4 trumpets, 2 trombones, 1 bass trombone, 1 tenor tuba, and a regular tuba. And this doesn't include his oversized wind section, percussion, strings, 2 harps, celeste, and an organ. So if you listen closely, you'll actually hear the organ rise above the orchestra during the last section of this piece. But specifically, I want you to listen to the brass section and how it replicates the trumpets and horns that called armies into battle and heralded the battle cry. Throughout this piece, Holst is doing a really good job of replicating that idea of Mars as the bringer of war. And though it's not technically a traditional march form, that you would expect in war, he intentionally did 5/4 time to give it that otherworldly feel. Because we're not just talking about armies marching against each other on Earth, but this is talking about a cosmic war between planets. Finally, this music tells a story. While you listen, create this story in your mind. Is it armies marching into a battle for the world? Kind of a war to end all wars? Or is it a fantasy story where an unknown terror emerges from another planet to suck the life from Earth? I'm sure you can imagine something amazing as you listen to this, so let your imagination run wild. Now, last but not least, Dmitri Shostakovich, Second Piano Concerto, Second Movement. Listen to this short clip. Now, we've listened to 2 massive pieces with huge orchestrations and exciting stories. This one is completely different. This piece also tells a story, but it's a very different one. I want you to imagine what story this piece of music would tell. If it was in a movie, if you could see it lived out in front of you, what would you see? Instead of focusing on the instruments like we have for the others, think about how this piece makes you feel. Why is it important to listen to music like this? The other pieces we listened to were very big, impressive, and showy. However, there's nothing really impressive about this piece. It's actually very simple. Still, it's one of the most beautiful pieces ever written. This should show you that you don't have to be a prodigy to create music. You just have to listen, experience, and take the time to really feel the music. Then all you have to do is learn how to communicate what you hear and feel. While listening to this, I want you to close your eyes and don't be distracted by anything else. Just see where this takes you. So to wrap up, I hope this helps you understand how big and different the world of classical music really is. And if you have a piece of music that you would like me to share with everyone, leave it in a comment and it may just end up in my next video. Thanks for watching, and keep stretching those ears to hear a whole new world of sound. I'll see you soon.